So, would you like to have a Pani Puri? Why am I asking you this question? Because we are going to talk about Pani Puri. Pani Puri arguably might be one of the most famous street foods, not just in India, but in most parts of the world now that more and more people have tasted Pani Puri. So what is Pani Puri and why are we going to talk about it? Well, Pani Puri has been a subject of great discussions for all cuisine lovers, irrespective of what spectrum of the society you belong to. However, it's an important opportunity for us to look at Pani Puri from a business perspective. Okay, because I believe there are lots and lots of lessons that a Pani Puri stall would offer us. So let's try and understand more about what is the business of Pani Puri and how can it help us learn the ropes of several other points which we usually tend to ignore. So let's get to understand more about the legendary Pani Puri. Okay, so what is Pani Puri? I mean, in case you're not aware of it, it's a question that almost every Indian would be able to answer quite easily without second thoughts. But in case you haven't ever tried Pani Puri and you don't know what it is, let's first understand what is Pani Puri. I've tried to give you a simplistic definition of what it stands for. Well, Pani Puri is actually a hollow puri. A puri is a deeply fried flat bread with a mixture of some flavored water, and that flavored water is mighty delicious. Also known as imli pani, the water that is added in the puri. So puri is actually the flatbread, pani is the water, and that's why the name Pani Puri. And of course, there are other ingredients as well, lots of secret ingredients that really make it very, very tasty and yummy. So that's in a nutshell what Pani Puri is. You need to taste it yourself to understand more about the nitty-gritties involved around it. But for now, I think that should suffice. So let's understand why we're talking about Pani Puri and the lessons that we can draw from it. Well, Pani Puri is a household name in India. However, it is called by different names in different parts of the country. And interestingly, when I was doing the research, I also found out that the Pani Puri traces its origins from the days of Mahabharata. In fact, the Pandav queen Draupadi is the one credited with the invention of Pani Puri. Now, that's a fascinating subject. I wasn't aware of it, to be honest with you. But it just goes to show that it's not a food item that has been there for the last few decades or few centuries. It's been there for thousands and thousands of years, which I think in itself is a very fascinating fact for any food item from any part of the world. So Pani Puri traces its origins from the Mahabharata days, and during those days, it was called as Jalapatra Pani. Now that's a very heavy name, very historic one, but I think food item like Pani Puri deserves something like that. Also, it's called Golgappa, Fuchka, Puchka, Gupchup, and I'm not sure many other names depending on which part of the country that you belong to. So it's been there for quite some time, and almost everyone loves the Pani Puri. There are also other members of this family, by the way. I mean, depending on your taste and your preferences, you can either go for a Pani Puri, which is the most common item, or you can also go for Sev Puri, Dahi Puri, Bhel Puri, Ragda Patties, and several other items. All of these are equally yummy, tasty, and delicious. I know you have already started expecting a lot of mouth-watering treat coming your way, but that's not happening right now. You can enjoy this as you're watching this video, but just to give you some information, Pani Puri has been there, and the family members of Pani Puri have also helped many people address their taste buds. Okay, so why is Pani Puri such a special thing? Apart from the great taste, apart from the fact that everyone loves it, I haven't seen or heard of a human being till date who says, I hate Pani Puri. Perhaps you may like Pani Puri, you may love Pani Puri, but there is nobody that I have found who hates Pani Puri. So I would like to believe that it's one of those food items which nobody hates. And if you hate Pani Puri, well, then you need some treatment, honestly. Okay, so what are the business dynamics surrounding Pani Puri? Why should we, especially in the corporate world or in the business world, need to look at Pani Puri from a business perspective? Well, there are so many things that you can draw from this, but I have tried to cull out 5 distinct points, which I think are extremely important for anybody from any walk of life to learn. Okay, so 5 things that I'm going to talk about. Number 1 is customization that this business brings to the table. Second, we'll talk about the diverse customer base. Third, we'll talk about value for money, which I think is extremely important in any business. Number four, we'll talk about how Pani Puri and its business has evolved over times. And last but not the least, we'll also talk about the X factor that Pani Puri offers, right? So ready for it? Here we go. All right, so let's begin with understanding customization in every bite. Now, what's so special about Pani Puri is the customization that it brings to the table. So just to give you an example, a typical Pani Puri plate would have 5 or 6 puris in it. Yeah. Now, each of these have the ability to be very different from each other. For example, if you're eating Pani Puri at a local stall, you can actually ask the Pani Puri guy or the shopkeeper to give you a Pani Puri with a different taste every time. You can ask for a little bit sweeter, a little bit sour, a little bit spicier. Now that's phenomenal. Now think of it in this way. If you're in a business where your customers are asking you to provide them customized offerings, to what extent are you able to provide them bespoke or tailor-made customized offerings? Extremely difficult to do. But the ease and grace with which a Pani Puri guy would do it is absolutely phenomenal. And it's not just that. At any given time, a Pani Puri stall would at least have 4 to 5 customers, all of whom are eating Pani Puri or Sev Puri or Dahi Puri or something like that. But even if they're only eating Pani Puri, each one of those customers would have a different taste palette. One of them might eat, something which is more sweeter. One of them might demand more spicier. One of them might want to have a mixture of the two. So Pani Puri really is an item where you can customize each bite and you can customize customer-wise as well. And the ability of a Pani Puri shopkeeper to do that simply amazes me, because the amount of customization that it goes and requires one to do is absolutely staggering. So the next time you're at a Pani Puri stall and you're enjoying your Pani Puri, just look around and look at the kind of expectations that people have in terms of taste in every bite that they are enjoying at the stall. And maybe you can try and replicate that in your business. Not always easy, to be honest, but that is something we must definitely try and pick from the local Pani Puri guy's stall. Number 2, it has a diverse customer base. Now, what do we mean by diverse customer base? For any business that you're into or any service that you're offering, we always look at our customer base. We look at the demographics, we look at the income pattern of people, we look at what kind of preferences they have. So typically, we would tend to slice and dice them into rich customers, medium-sized customers, poor customers, lower income customers, or for that matter, we would say men, women, children, so on and so forth, right? Or for that matter, you could say youngsters or middle-aged people or old-age people. Now, what's the customer demographic for a Pani Puri? It's diverse. Everyone, almost everyone, irrespective of their age, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their income levels, enjoy Pani Puri. Now, that's phenomenal. So at a local Pani Puri stall, the chances are, at least in India, the chances are that you have a millionaire and a poor folk standing right next to each other, enjoying the same plate of Pani Puri. Now, that's a great thing because you are catering to a diverse base of customers, all of whom are different from each other in terms of taste, preferences, gender, whatever. And yet they're eating and enjoying the Pani Puri in exactly almost the same fashion. In fact, I have heard of stories where a lot of celebrities, when they become celebrities, because they can't enter the public domain openly because of the fear that people might attack them for signatures and autograph, they tend to hide inside their vehicles and order Pani Puri because they don't want to lose out on the fun. So the fact is that everybody, irrespective of who you are, enjoys a Pani Puri. It's got a diverse base. Now, look back at this from your business context and ask yourself, is your business into a more specific customer base or a diverse customer base? But if you're into a diverse customer base like Pani Puri, what you're doing is you're enhancing opportunities of offering your product or service to a larger spectrum of audience. So can you use that formula into your businesses and try and offer it to a larger spectrum of audiences so that people can enjoy it? Now, that's something which is worth thinking. I'm not saying you should do it, but that's definitely worth a thought. So diverse customer base is yet another striking feature about Pani Puri. Number 3, and for me, this is really, really big one, and that perhaps is one of the reasons why Pani Puri is such a diverse product being offered to the world is because it's really value for money. So a typical Pani Puri would cost you anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks to maybe 40 to 45 bucks to 50 bucks, maybe slightly more depending on where you're eating Pani Puri. But no matter where you eat it, depending on the situation and the location, it is still value for money. It is not a pocket pinching food business. It is a business which really offers value for money. And that's one of the reasons why people who eat Pani Puri do not stop at one plate. They go for the next one, or perhaps many more plates, depending on how much you can stuff yourself. But the fact is, it is really value for money. And then there have been several other food items which have been there, but sometimes people tend to find it unaffordable or slightly more pricey because of inflation and many other reasons. But honestly, I have never seen inflation creating a shift in people's mindset saying that, I'll not eat Pani Puri because it's mighty expensive. That hasn't really happened. So although Pani Puri also with times has become slightly more costlier, if you want to call it that, but still the demand has not taken a hit simply because it's value for money. So it's very common for you to see people thronging to a Pani Puri stall and enjoying the Pani Puri without the fear that they will have to shell out a lot of money. And that, I think, is another striking feature of Pani Puri, is that you always feel as a customer that you've been given value for your money. Think of your business. Are your customers thinking about your products and your services as value for money? If not, why? If yes, why? Then perhaps you might be able to identify a few inputs that will help you change your strategy if required. Because it's important for your customers to find value in whatever you offer, whether it's a product or a service. People need to find value in that. And that typically is something that a Pani Puri brings to the table, value for money. Extremely important point. The next reason, and I think this is another fascinating thing to observe over the years with regards to Pani Puri business, is that it has evolved with times. Now, just a few years ago, when COVID had hit, there was absolutely completely kind of a moral ban on all kind of street food items, right? People were afraid that they should not eat outside. It took some time to people to come back to that normalcy. However, what is fascinating to see is that how Pani Puri business has evolved with times and catered to the demand of people, especially in the context of hygiene and sophistication. So what do I mean by that? Today, it's very common for you to see a Pani Puri guy offering you Pani Puri with hand gloves, which was not the case maybe a few years ago. I have also seen Pani Puri guys offering Pani Puri with mineral water. So the Pani, which literally means water, is now made of mineral water. Of course, you pay slightly more, you pay some premium for it, but you're assured that the water that is being used inside the Pani Puri is of the highest pedigree. Now, what it tells us is that the business has understood that the customer is willing to pay a premium as long as you provide them with exactly what they are demanding. So if the customer is expecting a shift in terms of hygiene, enhanced level of safety, then let us provide the customer with that so that the customers don't have to go back from what they really want to enjoy. Similarly, you also have a lot of automated tools now being made available. So what you see in pictures here are a few examples. Some of these are prototypes. Some of these are actually being used. Imagine you being served a plate of Pani Puri by a robot, right? I haven't tried and tasted that yet, but that is something which is also being pushed by organizations today, a robotic Pani Puri. Or for that matter, a Pani Puri vending machine, which is already a reality. A lot of people would have tried and tasted that. Is that you have a machine which provides you exactly with the specifications that you ask for. And there you go. You have the exact combination of material that you need to have in your Pani Puri. So the point is very simple, is that you have been able to look at an age-old conventional business and change the dynamics to suit the modern day customer. Now, that's a beautiful thing to happen for any business, isn't it? Because a lot of businesses haven't been able to change or evolve with the changing times, changing customer preferences. A result of which they have gone under wraps. They had to shut down, they had to close down because they could not change. But not Pani Puri. Pani Puri has changed with times and changed big, whether it comes to hygiene, whether it comes to technology adoption. It has been there in the forefront. And that's why even today, irrespective of where you go, right from the street vendor to a five-star hotel, you will definitely find Pani Puri in the menu. And that is the reason why it has survived over a long, long period. And of course, we spoke about value for money, but one of the other reasons I personally love Pani Puri is because it always leaves you with a feeling of getting something extra. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, an avid Pani Puri person would never leave the Pani Puri stall without asking for what is called as the Sukha Puri. Now, what is the Sukha Puri? Sukha basically in Hindi means dry, but Sukha Puri is basically a dry puri, which means at the end of it, you have enjoyed your Pani Puri, but you get a Sukha Puri. And guess what? You don't have to pay anything for the Sukha Puri. It is absolutely free, or in a sense, the cost is already calculated for in the Pani Puri that is offered to you. But Sukha Puri is a puri which gives you the feeling of getting something extra. And you know what is interesting about it? Even for the shopkeeper, it is not a loss. Why? Because the Sukha Puri is usually made of puris which are damaged. So you can't use the damaged puri because the water will start leaking from them. And therefore, you can use them as a dry puri, as a Sukha Puri. And it's a dual advantage. For the shopkeeper, no wastage at the end of the day. And for the customer, the feeling of having got something extra. In fact, I have seen people demanding one more Sukha Puri just because it makes them feel happier. The question is, do you leave your customers with a feeling where they feel they're receiving something extra? It could be a product or a service. Perhaps you might think about it. How can we make sure that our customers enjoy the feeling that they're receiving anything extra? Now, receiving something extra need not always be monetarily. It can also be in the form of a service that I receive. So it could be an after-sales service, or sometimes it could be just receiving a discount, or sometimes it could be receiving an additional product with the core product. It could be anything, or it could just be the level of service that the customers are receiving. Whatever the answer might be, but ask yourself, what is that extra that we are offering to our customers in the context of the money that they are spending? Perhaps Pani Puri might have got some answers for you. So these are top 5 reasons why I believe we have a lot to learn from an age-old conventional business, which is answering modern-day questions. So the next time you enjoy Pani Puri, reflect upon these questions and think about your own service, your own product, or perhaps think about the organizations that you're part of and the product and services that you're offering there. Sure, you'll be able to mull over some of these pointers. For now, let's take a look at this image. I think this image went viral globally. That is the Japanese Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, enjoying the Pani Puri with the Indian Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. Now, what it also tells us is that the Pani Puri is not just a matter of local delight, it is the matter of political interest as well. But jokes apart, the fact is, irrespective of who you are, where you are, you can still enjoy a plate of Pani Puri, refreshing, delighting, and of course, fun-filled. So the next time you want to enjoy Pani Puri, don't think again. Just go for it. Try a Pani Puri plate, and it will help you enjoy the ecstasy of food, along with learning some delightful pointers. So do reflect upon these and let me know how they help you think differently about your work, your products, and your services. Till then, we'll meet again very, very soon. I hope you enjoy your plate of Pani Puri sometime very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.